Okay, so we're here on a pretty dry, pretty firm ground here. Not a lot of grass. It's really very firm, very dusty down here. And so this is a shot that we grew up playing a lot in Australia, and something we definitely got used to. You don't see it as much over here in the US, but occasionally through summer when things get pretty dry, and some courses that might not necessarily have the thick, lush rough we're used to seeing at so many of these PGA Tour events on the television. I just want to give you a couple of keys to think about when you're trying to play this shot. Okay, big part of it is going to be the way you play it out of the position on the position you use on the face of the golf club. Okay, so a lot of people just try and set up and hit it out of the center of the club face. What I want you to start thinking about is trying to use the toe a little bit more. A lot of these wedges now are designed, you hear people talking about the bounce, and they're these dual bounce wedges where the toe of the club is ground down quite severely, okay, and that makes, off of a hard pan lie, club's not going to bounce quite so much. If you try and use the middle of the back edge of the wedge, when it's firm, it's just going to hit the turf and bounce, okay? If you use this ground down toe of the club a little bit more, it's going to cut through the sand, and through that firm ground a little easier, and allow you to get the ball to come out the way you want it to. A couple of other things you need to think about is hand position, okay? We don't want to play this shot like we normally would when it's soft or kind of regular ground where we've got the handle down a little bit more. This, we want to focus on getting the handle up in the air, which gets that toe down into the ground and just helps us use the toe a little bit more. Okay, now ball position, center, maybe a little bit back depending on how much green you've got to work with, but this is one, most of the time I believe in center to slightly forward and weight forward. This is still going to have the principles of weight forward, but because we're wanting to definitely make sure we get that into the back of the ball first, center to the back of your stance is very important. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit one. I've got two shots. The first one's going to be to a longer pin, and the next one's going to be to a shorter flag. The back pin, we're going to play it with a pretty square face. To the short pin, we're going to open it up a little bit more, but still keeping our hands high. That's just going to allow a little bit more loft to get the ball up in the air. Okay, so handle up in the air a little bit, center to back. Still trying to keep the club really wide. Drive through it. Okay, and that's good. Now we're going to go to the shorter pin. This is the trickiest shot. Put it in a pretty dusty lie, pretty terrible lie sitting down here. So same thing, handle up, but club face a little bit open. Okay, same principles. Weight forward, a little bit back, keep it wide. Slide the club underneath it. Okay. So they both came out pretty nice. Okay, now you're not going to always hit them as cleanly as that. I certainly don't, but those are just some of the simple principles you need to think about when you're playing off of a firm lie, trying to make sure you make solid contact and avoid that dreaded skull that we see so often off a hard pan lie.